when pretrial services is monitoring. So she said there was nothing that his lawyers had offered that made her feel comfortable that he would return to this courthouse for subsequent court hearings and for a trial. She said that it was both his substance and the fact that some of this physical has been alleged occurred when he was using now, that was the reason why she couldn't trust that he would not commit any additional crimes while he was left on bail. So Sean Diddy Combs is not going to be walking out this door. He is in federal custody, where he will be unless his lawyers are able to convince a different judge.
During a recent court trial in Diddy's case, tensions escalated when the music mogul reportedly flipped off the presiding judge. The incident occurred during a heated moment in the courtroom, prompting a visibly frustrated reaction from the judge, which could lead to serious trouble for Diddy.
Disrespecting a judge is a terrible idea. Whether you want to accept it or not, the judge has some power over your case. Let's say you force the judge to dislike you, and you're the plaintiff in the case. Then any ruling that judge can make in the future that's right on that 50-50 line, guess what? It's probably going to tip over in favor of the defense now. It's just much better to respect the judge and not risk anything going wrong down the line.
As the trial progressed, Diddy reportedly became frustrated with the proceedings and made an unexpected move that is widely regarded as a blatant act of disrespect in any legal setting. This infuriated the judge and could potentially lead to an increased prison sentence for Diddy.
Deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking. So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof before you go down that.
Disrespecting a judge is never wise, as it can lead to a charge of contempt of court in the U.S. This legal offense involves disobeying or showing disrespect for the court's authority. Legal experts note that judges have little tolerance for even subtle hints of disrespect, such as a client disagreeing with them. What Diddy did is considered unimaginable and could lead to significant legal troubles for him.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs threatened and coerced victims to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including trafficking, forced labor, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
Diddy was recently arrested in Manhattan after being indicted on multiple serious charges, including trafficking, racketeering, and abduction. Federal agents apprehended the music mogul following a grand jury indictment. These charges, arising from an ongoing investigation, have sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. While details of the case remain under wraps, Diddy now faces a legal battle that could have serious repercussions for both his career and personal life. His legal team has not yet commented on the allegations.
In Brooklyn, and he is in this very special portion of the facility that offers an extra layer of security for high-profile individuals who could be targeted among the general population, and that could mean that he's limited to facilities like the library and the phone, so could make it hard, his lawyers are saying, for him to be able to prepare for trial. And because of all of this, Combs' attorney is actually asking for him to be moved to a New Jersey jail, but a judge said that that's ultimately going to be up to the Bureau of Prisons to decide. I mean, he can continue to appeal this and can appeal the bond, right? But you saw it with Ghislaine Maxwell. She continued to appeal and was not successful. Now 2 federal judges saying, you got to stay behind bars.
The indictment against Puff also includes accusations of physical misconduct spanning several years, with multiple victims coming forward to share their claims. These allegations add another layer of gravity to the charges, as the victims allege that Diddy engaged in abusive behavior over an extended period. The increasing number of accusations has intensified public scrutiny, and the legal proceedings are anticipated to be closely monitored.
I was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes. But
Yes.
the shopping thing is.
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow. Can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really?
Diddy now faces the grim prospect of spending decades in prison as the weight of the charges against him grows heavier. Given the severity of the accusations, the legal repercussions are expected to be significant if he is convicted. Legal experts predict that Diddy could face a lengthy imprisonment, potentially even a life sentence, particularly considering the extensive evidence collected by federal investigators.
Listen, as I was reading through what Diddy just got arrested for, right? The parties, what was happening at the parties, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Anyway, I was shocked because I just watched this movie, and this movie, Blink Twice, is just eerily similar to everything coming out in these Diddy reports. Sometimes I feel like art tries to tell us what's going on in real life. It's a good thing that justice is about to be served. I just hate that anytime something like this happens, the discourse, oh my goodness, like, I know there's gonna be just like a cult following of people that are just like, he wasn't guilty, he was just about to buy NBC, and like, it's just gonna be this conspiracy. Like, why does this always happen? But yeah, the details of everything, my goodness, it's like been over the last, since that Cassidy suit came out, there's been more and more. It's like every single suit that comes out, or in this case, you know, what you got arrested for, it's just like more details, more details, more details. It's like, yo, there's a lot of complicit people, for sure. Like, I feel like we're still in the beginning stages of all this. Like, I think it's gonna be wild to see what happens in the next few months.
The prosecutor emphasized the extensive and alarming nature of the alleged offenses, which include trafficking, forced labor, and harmful coercion. In presenting the case, the prosecution highlighted a wealth of evidence, including witness testimonies that depict a troubling pattern of misconduct. With multiple victims reportedly coming forward, the case against Diddy appears formidable, bolstered by various pieces of evidence collected during an extended investigation. The prosecution's focus on the severity and scope of the allegations underscores the seriousness of the charges he faces, intensifying the legal battle ahead.
So the magistrate judge overseeing this hearing today has remanded Sean Diddy Combs into custody after he was charged with that trafficking case. He was let out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals, and he will be held in federal detention as this case moves forward. Now, this followed a lengthy hearing with both prosecutors and Diddy's attorneys arguing reasons why he should be kept behind bars and why he should be released. Diddy's lawyers saying that he has taken voluntary steps, including turning over his passport to his lawyers, saying he would report any of his movements to prosecutors, but the judge finding that that was just not enough. She said, "My concern is that this is a crime that happened behind closed doors."
If found guilty, Diddy could face a lengthy prison sentence, representing a dramatic fall for one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry. Recently, a federal attorney revealed that over 120 victims have come forward to file cases against him, significantly strengthening the already serious allegations. This surge of individuals claiming to have been harmed amplifies the gravity of the charges, further bolstering the prosecution's case and making it increasingly difficult for the defense to counter the mounting evidence and testimonies. As the scope of the allegations expands, Diddy now faces an even more daunting legal battle with potentially severe consequences.
Described as, quote, dreadful, as one judge put it, some on the bench have even moved away from sending non-violent defendants there. In April, a group of detainees that prosecutors said were MS-13 gang members in court documents stabbed an inmate 44 times in an attack caught on camera. 2 shivs were recovered from the attack. You see them here. The victim survived. And in the last 3 years alone, 4 inmates have died by suicide. And violence is not the only issue. Accusations of medical neglect, staffing shortages, smuggling of drugs, some allegedly facilitated by employees. At least 6 staff members charged with crimes in the last 5 years, according to the AP. Some accused of accepting bribes and providing contraband.
I've had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
Lance A. Clark is a federal defense attorney who's been there many times.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Occupy the streets until they get heat.
In the winter of 2019, protests over a power outage left inmates without light or heat for a week in the cold.
I understand how cold it must be in those cells, and not to have any electricity, any lights, and to not be able to communicate with your family is just inhumane.
The prison has about 1,200 detainees and is the only federal prison in the nation's largest city. The DOJ shut down New York City's other federal jail, the Metropolitan Correctional Center, back in 2021, 2 years after Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide there. A Bureau of Prisons spokesman telling NBC News they, quote, take seriously addressing the staffing and other challenges at MDC Brooklyn, adding the director appointed an urgent action team and they've increased staffing.
MDC has historically had tremendous problems, and the problems aren't resolved.
Combs' lawyers originally hoping he could await trial under house arrest at his mansion, now arguing for him to be moved to a prison in New Jersey in the lead up to this trial, citing the prison's poor conditions, violence, and deaths. On Wednesday, his lawyer said he was being held in a special housing unit with an extra level of security.
Another troubling allegation has emerged, claiming that incriminating tapes involving Diddy are being circulated on the dark web, reportedly documenting illegal activities related to trafficking. These tapes are believed to be crucial evidence in his upcoming trial, further intensifying the case against him. Federal authorities are investigating the source of the tapes and whether their release is part of a larger effort to uncover the full extent of Diddy's alleged crimes. The presence of such materials online raises serious concerns about the security of evidence and the protection of victims' privacy.
I was reading through what Diddy just got arrested for, right? The parties, what was happening at the parties, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Anyway, I was shocked because I just watched this movie, and this movie, Blink Twice, is just eerily similar to everything coming out in these Diddy reports. Sometimes I feel like art tries to tell us what's going on in real life. It's a good thing that justice is about to be served. I just hate that anytime something like this happens, the discourse, oh my goodness, like, I know there's gonna be just like a cult following of people that are just like, he wasn't guilty, he was just about to buy NBC, and like, it's just gonna be this conspiracy. Like, why does this always happen? But yeah, the details of everything, my goodness, it's like been over the last, since that Cassie suit came out, there's been more and more, and it's like every single suit that comes out, or in this case, you know, when he got arrested for it, it's just like more details, more details, more details. It's like, yo, there's a lot of complicit people, for sure. Like, I feel like we're still in the beginning stages of all this. Like, I think it's gonna be wild to see what happens in the next few months.
Jaguar Wright has claimed that tapes allegedly involving Diddy are being sold on the dark web for over $500 million. This shocking allegation adds yet another layer of intrigue to Diddy's ongoing legal troubles, suggesting that these incriminating materials are viewed as highly valuable. The rumored existence of these tapes, along with their exorbitant price, raises serious concerns about the potential impact on the trial and the broader implications for the victims involved.
Freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas.
According to Jaguar, these videos are being traded for staggering amounts in dark coins, a type of cryptocurrency known for its anonymity. This method of transaction underscores the lengths to which some individuals will go to hide their activities, making it more challenging for law enforcement to track the distribution of such materials. To support these claims, Homeland Security conducted a raid at Diddy's mansion in Los Angeles in March, uncovering a significant number of cameras and recording devices used to capture unconsented footage of A-list celebrities attending private parties.
That investigators have found several weapons inside his homes. Several. They also have found videos. It's been reported that Diddy has collected images of people in compromising situations at his residences. TMZ now obtained this video inside his home in Los Angeles after the raid by federal agents. It's reported that Diddy is the target of a sex trafficking investigation that comes after he was hit with a wave of civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and trafficking. I've also learned exclusively that Diddy is in Miami. Authorities know exactly where he is. They've been in touch with his legal team. Sources tell me he's trying to avoid the paparazzi, and they're telling me he will not be arrested soon. Former NYPD Detective Derek Parker, known as the Hip Hop Cop, is joining me now with his thoughts on how this plays out. First, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So you know Diddy, right?
Yes.
In what way?
Back in the 90s, I was assigned to the NYPD. I was the hip-hop cop back then, so I had to assist in arresting him in several instances where there were some crimes committed.
What were those arrests for?
One was the Club New York shooting, he was with J-Lo at the time, and the other one was the Steve Stout assault that happened with MTV.
This discovery raises significant questions about the nature of the recordings and their potential relevance to the ongoing investigation. The presence of such equipment implies there may have been extensive monitoring or documentation of activities within the mansion, further complicating Diddy's legal situation. The prosecutor has indicated that, given the seriousness of the charges and the substantial evidence collected, he could face decades in prison if convicted. The combination of trafficking, racketeering, abduction, and physical misconduct has formed a strong case for the prosecution.
To wake up and, damn, pause. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes. He used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest fuckers in the world.
Yo, what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid.
And think about it. And back to Justin Bieber. There's videos, and we don't have to show any more videos. There's videos of Justin Bieber as a child with him, as a child. And again, the parents letting him sleep over. Just uncomfortable, awkward moments. You played the song, Pat, this weekend, "Lonely" by Justin Bieber. Guys, that song, after everything that this kid's been through, hits so different. It got me emotional in the car. And then look at all the videos. And again, hiding in plain sight. How many videos of Jenny McCarthy at the American Music Awards kissing and making him? He's like, I feel violated. The kid was telling us. James Corden sitting there sniffing him like, I love your smell. It's like, we all see it. We all seeing it happening. And I know we're not going to show the video, Pat, but there's a video out there for the viewers that want to watch it. There's a nightclub. Somebody has a camera. Trey Songz is standing next to Odell Beckham, and he sees the camera come, and he goes, yo, to signal to Odell. And you see Justin Bieber coming up. His head was down in Odell Beckham's crotch. And it's like, I can only imagine, Pat, how difficult it must be for these kids, for an Usher or Bieber to come forward.
With federal investigators actively involved and considerable public attention on the case, experts suggest that a conviction could lead to one of the harshest sentences for a high-profile figure in the entertainment industry in recent history. Beyond the serious charges against him, Diddy's alleged misconduct with the judge could further complicate matters. Any inappropriate behavior or attempts to influence the proceedings may lead to additional legal consequences, potentially undermining his defense.
Last week because he knew these charges were coming and he wanted to turn himself in. But the federal system is not like the state system. You don't automatically get a bond hearing. You have to actually request a detention hearing. And at that detention hearing, it's almost kind of like a preliminary hearing. They bring in the agents and other witnesses to describe what happened for the judge and to tell why he is a danger to the community or why he is a flight risk. And in certain federal cases, like if it carries over 10 years in prison, there is a presumption that you are a flight risk, and the burden shifts to the defense to prove that you are not. It's going to be real interesting to see what these charges are that he is facing and whether he will actually get out on bond.
What do you think about the recent developments in Diddy's case? Do you believe the evidence presented will result in a conviction? Share your thoughts in the comments.